Good morning. Thank you all for joining. We will get started in just a moment once we clear the waiting room. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are presenting or providing testimony before the board.
We got Pam.
Just one more moment. I see folks are still entering from the waiting room. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm pleased to be joined by Commissioner Liam Curran and Commissioner Kiana Saxon.
Thank you very much. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly if you are presenting or providing testimony before the board. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You'll make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. Following questions, there will be an opportunity for testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. For members of the public wishing to provide testimony, please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. One bit of housekeeping about this morning's agenda. Item number 6, Dynasty Restaurant Inc. for a change of hours will be continued to next Wednesday's hearing. Again, that item will not be heard this morning. That will be continued to March 5th, 2025. If anybody is here to testify on that matter, you may provide your testimony in writing to licensingboard@boston.gov, or you may appear at next Wednesday's hearing. Begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, Tacos of Commonwealth LLC, doing business as Taco John's, located at 77 Summer Street, has applied for a common victualler license to be exercised on the above 1,442 square foot main level, with a kitchen and dining room at the rear. Basement is used for storage and as a manager's office. Manager Hamza Jaffrey. Hours of operation 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Hi, my name is Ursel Jaffrey. I'm here for Tacos of Commonwealth.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Jaffrey. If you could please briefly present the proposed concepts to the board.
Sure. Well, my name is Ursel Jaffrey. I am the CEO of Reliance Hospitality Group, as well as the Tacos of Commonwealth. We are the franchisee of Taco John's brand. They're based out of Midwest. They were found in Cheyenne, Wyoming in 1969. So years of history, they have about 400 plus locations altogether. We currently have 2 Taco John's locations in the state of Massachusetts, one in Leominster, Massachusetts, and Lawrence, Massachusetts. Boston uh, uh, is our third location, will be our third location. We are currently looking for
Mr. Jaffrey, we've lost you a little bit. You've frozen. Are you still here with us?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you broke up right when you were saying that this would be your third location.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, this is our third location. We are currently in the process of building the brand in the Northeast region between Massachusetts and Connecticut. We have a couple of locations lined up for Connecticut later in the year. We've been part of QSR for over a decade at this point, with major brands as Wendy's, Popeyes, and Taco John's. So we're excited to be in the city of Boston. We believe.
Great. Mr. Jeffrey, you broke up a little bit. I don't know if there was anything further you wanted to add before we move to questions.
No, I think we can proceed with the questions.
Okay.
Thanks. It might be helpful if you turn your video off because you're freezing when you're freezing a little bit when you're speaking. Thank you for that information. My one question is if can you explain to me what your plan is for third-party delivery at this location?
Sure. I think that's a great question, and we have put in a lot of thoughts into how we could make a perfect pickup experience, yet not causing any chaos outside of our location with parkings and all sort of issues, because we have worked with all the departments, and this was one of our concerns that was brought up. So therefore, we have a couple of plans that are in place. We have a designated pickup shelf, which is in the restaurant as soon as you walk in. It's straight up from the entrance. All guests have a designated pickup time on their receipts at which they show up to the restaurant. We have parking spots across the street, so all of our third-party platforms actually have the directions that you could park your vehicles across the street, and you could walk inside and your food will be ready for pickup. An extra step that we have taken just so we have a smoother transition. We have added an extra Pepsi machine for soda purposes. One of the things that we have seen in our experience that typically when a customer comes in to pick up their food, they, they want to pick up themselves. Here in Boston location, we have added an extra Pepsi machine behind for theirs as well, and it will be ready for pickup along with their food. So they'll be just in and out quick.
Oh, Chairman Joyce, you're on mute.
So that's helpful. So if someone is picking up an Uber Eats or a DoorDash order for
Correct.
food and drink, they have to fill the drink themselves.
So in our case, there will be the drinks will be pre-filled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you put that information in writing for us so that we have it on file? For purposes of an inspection, that our inspectors, when they go out, they have an understanding of where the parking should be and that they'll see that you put this extra Pepsi machine in and the process you put into place. It does seem you put a lot of thought into it. I know you've worked with other city departments, so I'd just like to have that memorialized in writing for our file. And with that, I have no questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office could defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. They had done an abutters meeting with our office years prior. They also were connected with the DBNA and the Downtown Business Association. Both were supportive. We're unaware of any opposition presently. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you very much. Calling item number 2, Swiss Bakers, Inc., located at 168 Western Ave in Alston. Holder of a common victular license has petitioned to change the hours of the licensed business from 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Sunday to 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Wednesday and 5:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday through Sunday, with delivery and takeout only between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
That's me, Thomas Storr.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Storr. If you could just briefly outline the proposed change to the board and the reason for it.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the time. Happy Wednesday. So why would we like to do that is we are in the neighborhood for 11 years now, and the neighborhood has dramatically changed and is getting more active. But also we think we are ready now with everything running smoothly to do a little bit more for the neighborhood. And we would like to extend the hours. First, start with the test run, of course, to make sure we do it right. So it will be a limited late night menu, very simple. It would only be takeout and delivery because we would like to have 2 crew members handling that. And if we see it works out fine, we would like to install it from Thursday to Sunday. The idea is when you come home, the week is winding down in Thursdays that we can order. I can order maybe just a simple pizza or just things we don't offer during the day usually, but also add-ons like a ham and Swiss croissant or a spinach croissant late night. You just buy a salad and get our croissant, and then you have a fresh and healthy dinner because that's our thing. Just healthy food. There's nothing in it that shouldn't be in our baking goods. That's basically it. And we met with the neighborhood and they are supportive so far. And that's all I have to say about it right now.
Sorry about that. How long have you been open at this location?
We're open since 2013, March 1st. So 11 years, basically.
11 years, okay. And so you're gonna be it's gonna be 2 a.m. just for takeout and delivery, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that'll be from 6 p.m. on, okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you, that's very helpful. Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify in this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. ONS had hosted a butters meeting on December 6th. No residents spoke at that particular meeting. We did eventually receive 1 letter in opposition from an abutter. The applicant then went on to connect with the Alston Civic Association, which I see Tony DiSidoro on here now, so he can elaborate on their stance. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Are there any other elected officials or their representatives who would like to testify before we move to members of the public? Thank you. I do see Mr. DiSidoro with your hand raised. You may please provide your testimony.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair, members of the board, Tony DiSidoro, representing the Alston Civic Association. We want to go on record in strong support of this proposal. Thomas and his family has been a wonderful community asset. They run a very welcoming establishment, and this is simply an opportunity to provide additional service to a community, as Thomas was mentioning, that is changing a great deal. And this would help boost our nightlife economy and provide services where there's not a lot in the area at this time frame. So we are in strong support of this proposal.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great week.
And you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 3, Uja LLC, doing business as iLiquor, located at 11 to 17 Bennington Street in East Boston. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Huiling Deng to Fuwei Wu. Who's present on behalf of the applicant? Is anybody here on behalf of iLiquor? Oh, I do see you. Speaking of, just asked you to unmute.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jason Q. I'll be translating for Fu Wei Wu right next to me. He will be the proposed new manager. He is the CEO, the owner of the liquor store, and he will be working full time over there from now on. And Deng Huilin, which is the current manager, which is leaving the town. So the owner would like to take the store as a manager from there.
Thank you very much. The board will go through the manager of record questions for Mr. Wu.
Thank you. Mr. Wu, are you a citizen?
He is a green card holder.
Excellent. Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, he currently lives in Concord, MA.
And do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
He owns several big restaurants in China and but not restaurants in here. But he has a lot of experience in restaurants.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Wu, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
He does.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 4, Locali Inc., doing business as Locali, located at 350 to 352 Hanover Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to change the DBA of the licensed business from Locali to Little Sage. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. Thank you, Commissioners, Madam Chair, Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano here on behalf of Locali Inc. And I also have the owner and manager, Jen Materano, here as well. Pretty straightforward. As you know, over the last year, Locali has expanded its location, doubled its seating, and really changed its entire menu. One from its former pizzeria to now a full dining experience. And so they're just looking to change the name. They're changing their image to become more fine dining. As part of that, had just sought to change the DBA to Little Sage.
Okay, thank you. And there's no operational changes?
None at all. Hours, liquor license, everything remains exactly the same, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Southern, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 5, LCTV Fort Point LLC, doing business as Lolita Cocina and Tequila Bar, located at 253 Summer Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to pledge the license to Eastern Bank. Attorney Maggie Roberts. Attorney Roberts.
Thank you, Attorney Green. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. As just mentioned, I'm here to request approval to pledge their license to Eastern Bank. Essentially, the lender has agreed to increase the licensee's loan amount. In exchange, the licensee is seeking approval to pledge their license as collateral to secure repayment. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Attorney Roberts. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
As stated at the beginning of this hearing, item number 6 will be continued to next week's transactional hearing on Wednesday, March 5th at 10 a.m. Calling item number 7, Massachusetts Package Store LLC, doing business as Coasters, located at 71 to 75 Canal Street. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Patel Coasters Inc., doing business as Coasters at the same location. Kevin Shaw, manager, 11 p.m. closing hour. Has also applied to update the description of the premise as follows. The premises to be licensed is located on the first floor of a 3-story building with one large room on the first floor for sales, containing 1,567 square feet, and basement for storage containing 969 square feet. Attorney Thomas Truex. Attorney Truex.
Mr. Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Tom Truex of Salem, appearing on behalf of the proposed licensee, Patel Coasters, Inc. With me virtually are Kruti Patel. She's the president of the corporation. She's also one of the shareholders. And also with me virtually are Mr. Kevin Shaw. He is also a shareholder of the corporation. He's also the proposed license manager for the location. The underlying transaction is fairly straightforward. It's a sale of substantially all the assets of the current licensee, and it includes a transfer of the Section 15 all alcoholic licensed beverage license, which is, as you indicated, being exercised at 71-75 Canal Street in Boston. As for experience, Ms. Patel comes before you with approximately 3 years of package store experience. She is currently a full-time clerk at TJ's convenience store in Brookline, which is a Section 15 beer and wine package store. Before that, she was a manager at Lenny's Liquors in Millbury. She is also tip certified. As for Mr. Shaw, he comes before you with 4 years of experience, a little bit more, currently working full-time at First United Market in Cambridge. That is a Section 15 all alcoholic beverage license store. No disciplinary actions while he has been there those past 4 years. He is also tip certified. In reference to the questions, Mr. Shaw is a green card holder. He is a Mass resident. He is, as I mentioned, he has experience in the food and beverage industry and business, and he is familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and Commonwealth of Mass as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol. As for operations, it's pretty much a turnkey operation. Everything shall remain the same. No changes in the layout, no changes in the store hours, store operation unchanged. Probably one employee will remain on to be working there at the store. And we would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw, is he here? Can you turn his camera on? I think I saw him.
Yep, I am here.
Okay. Is it possible to turn your camera on?
Yeah.
There we
Yep.
go.
Thank you for joining us. Attorney, I believe covered all the manager of record questions, but I missed, where do you live?
I live right now in Chelsea, Massachusetts.
Chelsea, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a current condition on this license that says no nips and no non-craft single beers above 16 ounces or malt liquor. That will stay with the license. Are you aware of that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no other questions. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
None
you.
for me. None for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Calling item number 8, 5 Stars Liquors, Inc., doing business as Blue Hill Liquors, located at 108 Blue Hill Ave in Roxbury. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to MSPK LLC, doing business as Blue Hill Liquors at the same location. Kailash Ben Patel, manager, 11 p.m. closing hour. Secondly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to Rockland Trust Company. Attorney Benjamin Levin. Attorney Levin.
Morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, audience as well. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, MSPK LLC. This is a transfer of an existing license. The establishment will remain largely the same. They're going to utilize it exactly as it's been used for many years. Our manager of record, Kailash Ben, is here as well. She is a resident of Massachusetts. She is a citizen of the United States. She has many years of experience in the industry, and she's familiar with the rules and regulations of the city of Boston, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and the ABCC. Please let me know if there's any additional questions here. We're happy to answer them.
I missed where Ms. Patel is. She's on the Zoom.
She is, I believe, yes.
She could just introduce herself for us.
I am here.
I am here.
Ah, thank you. Miss, we do see you.
Okay. There's also a condition on this license that will remain with it. That condition is that there'll be no nips sold as well.
Correct.
Okay. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
No questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Have a great day.
And you. Calling item number 9, Bell's Cash Market, Inc., doing business as Bell's Cash Market, located at 246 Dorchester Street in South Boston. holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Bell's Market Inc., doing business as Bell's Market, the same location. Mittal Kanabai Patel, manager, 11 p.m. closing hour. And secondly, the applicant has petitioned to amend the description of the premise from rear entrance for stock in one room on first floor, rear room and cellar for stock, to approximately 5,313 square feet on one floor, consisting of a market and wine shop in 3 rooms, with a market area for the display of groceries and alcohol, and a register for sales, a wine shop for the display of alcohol and storage in the rear. Lastly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning, Chairman Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty, Miller, and Hanley, representing Bell's Market. As Secretary Green said, this is an application to transfer the existing all-alcohol package store license currently at 246 Dorchester Street from George Corey to the applicants at the same location. I am joined today by Mittal Patel, the proposed manager of record, as well as members of the ownership team. Approval of this application will bring back this long existing market that has been missing from this section of South Boston and Dorchester Street since the old market closed to make way for the new building here, which will provide, housing, commercial space, and which will house the new Bell's Market. The team here has extensive experience operating multiple markets and package stores in and around Boston. They have done so for many years successfully and without incident. This application, as I said, will reopen the Bell's Market in new and upgraded space, bringing back an amenity that the neighborhood has been lacking since its closure. The space is approximately 5,300 square feet, with the majority of it being designed for a grocery and deli. In addition to this, they're going to provide a range of beer, wine, and spirits for their customers to pick up as a complement to the meal they're preparing that night, or for future plans. The proposal is for a closing hour of 11 p.m. and, as was previously a condition on this license, we've agreed to not sell nips or singles. As I'm sure you're going to hear from Connor and ONS shortly, we did have an abutters meeting where we answered their questions and generally received support with no opposition. We also engaged in a productive conversation with the Neighborhood Civic Association. As I said, I'm joined by the proposed manager of record, Ms. Patel. She has experience with the retail sale of alcohol, as well as the sale of other age-restricted materials. She is a U.S. citizen, a resident of Braintree. She is experienced in the industry, is tip certified, and is familiar with the laws of the Commonwealth, the rules of the ABCC, and this board for the sale and service of alcohol. The applicant team here has extensive experience operating package stores, as I've said, without incident. In addition to the ownership team and Ms. Patel, the previous owner, George Corey, has been working with them to bring his knowledge and experience of Bell's Market and this neighborhood here to make sure it is an amenity for the community and the amenity that they remember. They're excited to reopen this space here. We want to thank you for hearing this application today, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Patel. My only question, I think you covered everything, is what is the reason for the pledge?
Financing.
Financing, okay. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information, the community process. An abutters meeting was held on January 7th. There was one question from the public regarding hours of operation, and no further questions or concerns were raised in that meeting. The applicant then went on to meet with Cityside, having a productive conversation. Cityside offered non-opposition to the proposal. We're unaware of any concerns presently. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, thank you, Secretary Green, Madam Chair, and members of the board. My name is Sydney, and I'm from Councillor Flynn's office. Councillor Flynn would like to go on record in support. However, he respectfully requests that the proponent refrain from small miniature bottles or singles due to quality of life and trash removal concerns that residents across the city continue to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 10, BR Kenmore LLC, doing business as Blue Ribbon Brasserie, Blue Ribbon Sushi, and Pescador, located at 498 Commonwealth Ave. holder of a common victual or 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Row 34 Kenmore LLC, doing business as Row 34 at the same location. Cortland Avila manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Applicant has also applied to update the description of the premise as follows. Premises consisting of 7,321 square feet on the first floor of a 5-story mixed-use building consisting of main dining area, bar, storage, private dining room, main entrance on Commonwealth Avenue, second entrance through adjacent hotel lobby, 3 means of egress. And lastly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to UMNVAG Kenmore LLC. Attorney Adam Barnowski. Attorney Barnowski.
Thank you, Attorney Green. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Adam Barnowski, attorney with RIW, 255 State Street in Boston, on behalf of the applicant, Row 34 Kenmore LLC. With me is John Gregory. He's one of the co-owners of Row 34, along with Cortland Avila, the proposed manager of record. We are here regarding a license transfer for a new Row 34 location at 498 Commonwealth Avenue in Kenmore Square. Mr. Gregory and his partners have operated Row 34 in numerous locations, including Fort Point, Burlington, Portsmouth, and Cambridge. The property is adjacent to the Commonwealth Hotel in the heart of Kenmore, located on the eastern portion of the building on the first floor, with entrances off of Com Ave and the interior hotel lobby. The premises consist of approximately 7,300 square feet, with a main dining area, bar, storage, as well as a private dining area. There is seating for 168. This is a same location license transfer of the license formerly operated by Pescador at the same location. We are seeking no changes in the scope or use of the license, with license closing hour of 2 a.m. 7 days a week. Row 34 primarily provides lunch and dinner service beginning at 11:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Cortland Avila is the proposed manager of record. He will be on site 40 plus hours a week. He has extensive experience in the restaurant industry, working in manager capacities for over 10 years. He is TIP certified. He holds an associate's and bachelor's degree in food business management from the Culinary Institute of America in New York. He has worked most recently as the general manager at the Row 34 Fort Point location, and he will oversee training, sale, and service of alcohol at the new proposed location. Turning briefly to the applicant and public need, this location has been licensed for alcoholic beverage service for decades, and the restaurant will continue to serve as an amenity for the neighborhood, the hotel, and in addition to being a popular destination on its own, it plays an important role in servicing patrons of the various sports and entertainment functions at Fenway Park throughout the year. The location is served by numerous MBTA bus lines. It's in close proximity to the Kenmore Green Line and Lansdowne commuter rail stations, in addition to several parking garages in the Fenway Park area. Row 34 is a known concept to the city. It's a known concept to this board, as are Mr. Gregory and Chef Jeremy Sewell, who have operated Fort Point location for several years, along with several other locations throughout Greater Boston. Their team is very excited to bring this opportunity to Kenmore. As I mentioned, we're also here before the board on the approval of a pledge of license to a lender of the licensee, UMNVAG LLC, relative to a loan in the amount of $600,000, with the license being collateral for the financing. Available to answer any questions the board may have.
Thanks, Attorney. I don't have any questions. I appreciate that explanation. Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would defer to the judgment of this board. With this being a transfer at the same location with no operational changes, ODS did not require an abutters meeting. The applicant did contact the Kenmore Association, which I understand was supportive of seeing this business front reopen. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do see a hand raised from Pam Beal. Ms. Beal, you may please provide your testimony.
Sorry, starting again. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Pam Beal, and I'm here in my capacity as president of the Kenmore Association to speak in support of this application and to welcome Jeremy and Shore back into Kenmore Square. We're very excited about them coming back and opening this space as a Row 34. So we hope the board supports this, as the community is very excited about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item 11, Maldi MAA Inc., doing business as Tremont Variety, located at 283 Tremont Street, has applied for a retail package store wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above, 917 square feet total, on ground floor with one main entrance and exit at the front of the building on Tremont Street. Retail store in one main room and one storage room located in the rear of premise. Manager Jitendra Kumar Patel, closing time 9 p.m. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon?
Morning, Madam Chair, Attorney Green, members of the board, Kristen Scanlon for the applicant. Signed on with us this morning is owner and proposed manager of record, Jay Patel. The application before you this morning is for a new beer and wine package store license for the store located at 283 Tremont Street, known as Tremont Variety. Jay purchased the store originally back in August of 2023. However, it has been a convenience store under the same name for decades at this location. By way of background, Jay has worked in the retail business and in other markets with liquor licenses for the better part of a decade and is familiar with the rules and regulations regarding the service and sale of alcohol. He does have employment authorization and is a Massachusetts resident as well, living in Brighton. The square itself is approximately a little over 900 square feet. It's on the ground floor at this location with no basement. The hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., and on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. They offer, like any true convenience store does, anything from snacks and soda, household items like cleaning supplies and dry goods, medicine. They also have limited dairy products like milk, yogurt, cheese. They offer eggs. They do not currently offer produce or prepared foods. They've tried pre-made sandwiches in the past, but got rid of it because unfortunately it didn't sell and they were getting rid of it and throwing it out. However, they do also have some frozen foods that people have requested recently to bring in, like pizza, lasagna, burgers, ice cream, and the like. If they were granted this beer and wine license, they would focus their sale items on craft beer mainly and a variety of wine, probably in the price point between $8 and $25, along with some champagnes they'd offer as well. Examples of brands that they're looking to carry in the craft beer market are many local brands, including Aeronaut, Castle Island, Wormtown, Jack's Abbey, and some more mainstream items like Corona, Bud Light, Miller Lite, and Pacifico. Overall, and we did submit a floor plan with this application, which shows where alcohol product would go if they were granted this license. It's about 15 to 20% of the overall store footprint, and they're committed to maintaining that and not changing that without prior approval of the board. They're also committed to not selling singles as well at this location, and happy to have that as a condition on the license if they're awarded it. Similarly, if they're granted a license, they would purchase the ID Science machine. That seems to be among the most popular machines that has frequent and I believe monthly updates to their software to combat any fraudulent IDs attempted to be used for purchases. Important to note, they have no intention on getting rid of any of the other convenience store items that they do offer in the store now. They want to maintain the convenience aspect of the store and quick neighborhood shopping with offering necessities and the grab-and-go items that they have now. Many of their customers either live nearby or pass through this area on their way to and from work. They see several nearby hospital workers, for instance, on a daily basis, as well as some folks that visit when they stay in nearby hotels. Worth noting, too, they do, even for a smaller store of 900 square feet, have 8 security cameras inside the store. As far as public need is concerned, because this is an application for a new license, since taking over the store in August of 23, they wanted to get to know the neighborhood and see what people wanted and needed. They have had several customers asking to bring in beer and wine, and it really is a needed amenity in this area that fills a gap in the market and on the map. If you take a look, there really are no stores nearby. There is Wild Duck, approximately 0.3 miles away north of Stewart Street into Chinatown, that offers full spirits. Other stores are 0.4 miles or more away into the Back Bay neighborhood, further into Chinatown, and across the highway and Harold Street over into the South End. There are a few convenience stores with no licenses, like 7-Eleven and downtown convenience within 2 to 4 blocks away as well. But there really is nothing else around this location serving residents and visitors alike that pass through this highly transit-oriented area. So saturation is definitely not a concern in this area as it relates to package store licenses. As I mentioned previously, they will maintain the convenience aspect of the store. They're not seeking to turn it into a liquor store. As previously mentioned, the store does attract locals and visitors alike, most of whom visit the store on foot. Worth noting that they will not be utilizing any delivery services, so they will not contribute to any traffic issue that may exist or arise in the neighborhood. They do have reasonable hours of operation, closing at 9 p.m., respecting the nearby and abutting residents. And again, pretty small store, only asking for beer and wine. So all in all, the neighborhood will see little to no impact on the neighborhood and will only enhance the offering within this immediate vicinity. As far as community process is concerned, we did participate in an ONS-sponsored Butters meeting in April of 2024. There were, to my records, 7 attendees outside of ONS and the applicant. People were supportive with some questions from the Bay Village Neighborhood Association. While Bay Village, it isn't technically their territory, we nonetheless voluntarily met with them back in May of 2024. I believe they were going to be submitting a letter of non-opposition to the board, although I'm not sure that you've received it to date. I haven't seen it. The one concern or question that was raised there is that the store is adjacent to a park. So anything that the store can do to make sure there's no consumption in the park and that they make sure it's prohibited, and the store said they would hang signs to, if they see that as a problem, to make sure that doesn't occur. So in addition to meeting voluntarily with Bay Village, we also met with the Chinatown Neighborhood Council back in May of 2024. No real issues brought up at that meeting. We did follow up with them as this hearing approached, but did not hear back. Similarly, I'm not sure if the board has technically received any formal letter from them as well. We did also meet with the Chinatown Residents Association as part of this extensive community process in June of 2024. There were some concerns raised there regarding noise in the area and public safety, and concerns about consumption of alcohol and responsible drinking in public. We did our best there to assure them that obviously with the nature of this license, that's not something that's allowed either in the store, and certainly not something, if the store was aware of that, they would offer or would allow outside the store, and immediately bring appropriate attention to that. But it is important to note, however, that there are no actual complaints from residents about this store. The owner also has offered direct contact, offering his phone number if any issues do arise in the store. He does know several of the residents nearby who come in the store regularly and are happy to accommodate any requests or rectify any concerns they have. I know that the board has received dozens of letters of support dating back to the time surrounding these meetings, as well as more recently, and otherwise we're not aware of any opposition regarding this proposed license at this location. Certainly happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have regarding this proposal.
Thank you, Attorney. I think you mentioned it, but I didn't write it down. What percentage of the floor space will be reserved for beer and wine?
It's approximately 15 to 20%.
Okay. And you'll submit a floor plan to us?
We did with the application.
Okay. Thank you. This location, it's right near the theater district and next to Royale, is that right? Near that theater district garage?
Yes.
I think closing at 9 o'clock is a good idea. Are there any plans for security? Making sure people don't go in, make a purchase, and then immediately go outside and drink, get in line to go into one of the clubs.
Yes, and Jay, you can speak to that as well.
Hi, how are you? My name is Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hi. We are not selling single beer, so probably we're gonna sell 4-pack or 6-packs. So most of the people, they take home and they drink it. Then what I see it drinking, break the 4-pack and drink in the street.
Okay. How many staff are usually there, in the evening?
2 people.
Okay. All right, just keep an eye on that as you're selling beer and wine, and maybe the customer base changes in such a way that you might need to add more staff, but
No
something to keep in
problem.
mind. Okay,
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
thank you. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
You mentioned cameras. Do you have any cameras that face like outside of your establishment on the sidewalk?
We have from inside too, you can see a sidewalk from outside, but I don't have exactly camera outside.
Okay, thank you.
I can put it later on.
Yeah, I mean, that might be something you want to look into because, like the chair said, we're going to expect you to kind of keep an eye out on what's going on after the purchase,
Okay, no problem.
No additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you all. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. As you heard from the applicant's representation, ONS hosted a butters meeting. I have that date as May 1st. There was one member of the public that vocalized support in that meeting, another who had questions simply regarding the hours of operation, and another was the civic leader of the Bay Village Civic Association who had some concerns about public drinking. Which, as the applicant's representation mentioned, they offered to put up signs reminding patrons not to drink in the nearby park. They also requested that the applicant meet with the Bay Village Neighborhood Association, which they have done. The applicant then went on to meet with the Chinatown Neighborhood Council as well as the Chinatown Residents Association. I don't believe either of those organizations have taken a stance. We did hear concerns that there was one building in particular that wasn't able to receive a flyer, and the applicant confirmed that the security of that building turned away the applicant when they were flyering. We had our neighborhood liaison go in and post a flyer in the common space to see if we'd solicit any feedback. From my understanding, we did not receive any. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Yes, Sydney.
Yes, thank you, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Sydney. I'm from Councillor Flynn's office. Councillor Flynn would like to go on record in support. However, he respectfully requested the proponent refrain from small miniature bottles or singles due to the quality of life and trash removal issues that residents across the city continue to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 12, Liquor Story Inc., doing business as Liquor Story, located at 103 State Street, has applied for a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above on 2 floors. First level with 1,500 square feet of retail floor space with service counter, shelving, and coolers for product. Lower level with 283 square feet for storage and bathroom for staff. Secondly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company. Manager Setu Dave, closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning again, Chairman Joyce and Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty, Miller & Hanley, representing Liquor Store in this application for the new all-alcohol package store license to be exercised at 103 State and to pledge the license to Rockland Trust. I'm joined today by the owner and proposed manager, Setu Dave. This proposal is to open a store offering high-quality liquors, wines, and craft beers as an amenity for the professionals and residents and visitors to this area. As office culture returns to the downtown and Faneuil Hall area, the approval of this application will offer an amenity to those people who are back in the office looking to grab a nice bottle of wine for dinner on their way home, visitors looking to pick up a 4-pack of beer for their hotel room, And for residents looking for a bottle of whiskey or another, alcoholic beverage as a gift on their way to and from. It will contribute to and complement the revitalization of this specific section of State Street, which has consisted of a lot of empty storefronts since 2020. The space is approximately 1,780 square feet in total, with 1,500 square feet of retail space on the ground level. The proposed closing hour is 11 p.m., which we feel complements this area, both from the residents, people staying in the hotels in the area, and people who are stuck at the office late and want to grab something on their way home. They have also, as Secretary Green said, applied to pledge the license to Rockland Trust related to the financing for the build out and construction of the premise. As I'm sure you're going to hear from Connor and ONS, we attended a butter meeting they held where we answered questions generally received for support from the community and no opposition. We've also engaged in a productive conversation with other members of the community, directly addressing and resolving their concerns. As I said, I'm joined by the proposed manager of records, Satu Dave. Mr. Dave has more than 12 experience with the sale of age-restricted materials, and he understands the responsibility and care needed for this type of business. He is a U.S. citizen. He is a resident of Needham. He has experience, as I've said. He is TIP certified and familiar with the laws of the Commonwealth, the rules of the ABCC, and this board for the sale and service of alcohol. Mr. Dave has carefully designed the operating procedures and product offerings for this premise to ensure that Liquor Story will be an amenity to the professionals, visitors, and residents of the area. All the staff will be TIPS trained. They will be trained on ID recognition. They will receive and they will use ID scanners for any patrons who appear to be under the age of 50. Mr. Dave is excited to bring this amenity to the people who live and visit the Faneuil Hall area. We want to thank you for hearing this application today and be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Attorney. I actually don't have any questions for you at this time.
I have no questions as well. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Our office is unaware of any concerns. There was a positive abutters meeting. They were in contact with the Wharf District Council, and I understand they secured their support. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. I will say, Connor, we didn't reach out to Wharf District. We weren't asked to. We're not within any catchment district that I'm aware of. Just for clarity of the board, we did hold the abutters meeting, as he said, did have support, but we didn't fall within any neighborhood organizations. Therefore, weren't asked to reach out.
Great. Thank you for that, Connor. Thank you, Attorney Miller, for the clarification. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 13, Triple Coast LLC, doing business as Ula Cafe, located at 284 Amory Street in Jamaica Plain. Has applied for a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above. Ula Cafe is 2,200 square feet with a seated capacity of 65 and a standing capacity of 12 for a total of 77 people. Has 2 entrances, 2 exits, and is located on the ground floor of the brewery building owned by JPNDC. There's a half flight of stairs to access the bathrooms above, otherwise it is a single floor only. Restrooms are also accessible via ramp at the main building entrance. There is a center bar area with a kitchen inside. Seating is available in the front and back of the room. Manager Michael Bamey, closing time 10 p.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
That's me, Beth Santos. I'm a co-owner of the cafe. I also have my husband and business partner, Marvin Mathlier, on the call, and our general manager, Michael Bama.
Hello. Great. Thank you all for joining us. If you could please just briefly present the concepts to the board.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for hearing us this morning, and I hope that you can get some good rest after this call. I know it's been a long call so far. Again, my name is Beth Santos. My husband and I have owned Ula Cafe for the last 3 years. But Ula is actually a long-standing member of the Jamaica Plain community. It opened in 2007. We are a cafe, bakery, a sandwich joint, and a real community space. We bring people together all throughout Jamaica Plain to gather together for meetings, to catch up with friends. It has been a place that we frequented even before we were owners. And one thing that our community has always asked us for is to be open later. I think that's one thing that we've always wanted to do. We're actually licensed to be open until 7, but we currently operate until 4 because, frankly, as a cafe and bakery, there's not much keeping people around ordering sandwiches at 6 o'clock at night. So one thing that we've been really interested in doing is opening up a beer and wine license to serve at our cafe. So the idea of that would be having locally owned, small batch beer and wine, nothing too big. We actually used to have a beer and wine license before we were owners. It was part of the initial cafe with the earliest owners, and then they ended up selling the license off. And the reason I say that is because the cafe is already constructed to be what I like to call beer and wine friendly. So we have a tap with storage that is already available and ready for us to do that. We're not looking to add any extensive beer and wine, just maybe 3 to 5 offerings so that people can come and actually have a reason to be at Ula in the evening. We have been doing a lot of evening events with a 1-day beer and wine license over the last 2 years. That has given us a really nice opportunity to experience what it would be like to test the waters, to bring our community in. We'll have open mic nights. We did a board game night, have panel discussions, that kind of thing. So there is definitely demand in our neighborhood for doing something like this. And we've seen really, really good feedback from it. I think it's also worth mentioning that our section of JP is pretty low in terms of access to any sort of nightlife. So we're hoping to expand our hours to 10 p.m. Not anything too late, but just something that gives our community a chance to come together in the evening hours. We have the full support from Sam Adams, which is around the corner, as well as the Haven, which is also in the brewery building. The Haven has a full alcohol license. They're a full service restaurant. And Sam Adams, as you know, is beer. We're hoping to have a little bit of a different vibe. We're a Black owned, woman owned, veteran owned, and family owned establishment. So we want to create spaces that are welcoming to everyone, but also give people a chance to enjoy our existing menu. Not a huge number of changes to that menu. We'll continue to serve sandwiches and salads. We'll have the full espresso bar open. We'll probably add a couple of evening friendly things, some cold tapas, maybe some cakes and cupcakes, things that people want to have maybe with a glass of wine. Nothing too extensive in terms of changes in the way we operate or in our menu, in the sense of, we're not like going into, like full service restaurant. That being said, anyone who's dine-in is served at the table. We will make sure that all of our team is fully tip certified. And our manager, Michael, has quite a bit of experience in the restaurant industry and has managed the 1-day beer and wine licenses for the last almost 2 years now, Michael. My goodness. So it'll be great. I think a pretty seamless transition for us. So we're excited to be here. We're hoping for the best, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. Very exciting application. It's nice to see these different concepts come before us and in the neighborhoods. Michael, are you a citizen?
I am, yes.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, I am.
And it's clear you have experience in the food and beverage industry, as described by Beth. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. I have no further questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. As you heard, ONS hosted a butters meeting on January 8th. It was well attended. About half a dozen residents spoke up in support of this proposal. We also received an additional letter of support via email from a resident, which we forwarded to the board. They went on to meet with the JPNC Public Service Committee, which I understand was supportive as well of this proposal. We're unaware of any concerns at this time. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Are there any other individuals? Yep, I see a hand raised from Michael Reiskind. Mr. Reiskind, you may please provide your testimony.
My name is Michael Reiskind. I live at 425 South Huntington Avenue in Jamaica Plain. I'm a member of the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council and chair of its Public Service Committee. We had a neighborhood hearing on this issue on February 4th. It was well attended, and everybody who attended was enthusiastic support. This is a wonderful community and gathering space, and a beer and wine license in this underserved location would be well received in the Eggleston Square neighborhood, and we urge you to pass this application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. Calling item number 14, ATTF LLC, doing business as Knoll Street Tavern, located at 1410 Center Street in Roslindale, has applied for a common victual or 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 2,600 square foot premises consisting of 2 floors. First floor consists of rectangular bar with seating for approximately 30 and seated dining areas on the left and right sides. 2 bathrooms and kitchen in the rear. Basement is for storage only. Manager Andrew Tremble. Closing time 1 a.m. Attorney Bob Allen. Attorney Allen.
Thank you, Attorney Green. Madam Chair, members of the board, for the record, my name's Robert Allen. I have a law practice at 300 Washington Street in Brookline Village. Here with me on the call is Andrew Tremblay and his partner, Connor Ford. We're requesting, as Attorney Green said, the approval of a Section 12 7-day CV all alcohol license to be exercised at 1410 Center Street in Rosendale, which is currently Kelleher's, pretty much a mainstay pub for a long time in that neighborhood. Kelleher's is closing, and they have decided to transfer their liquor license to an unrelated third party, as I think this board is aware. I think that's been before you already or coming before you soon. ATCF LLC is here seeking one of the restricted address licenses recently approved by the city of Boston. The plan is to keep it as a neighborhood pub. We have to clean it up a bit, bring the utilities and bathrooms up to code. The goal is to provide traditional cozy tavern experience with scratch kitchen focused on bar-style pizza, elevated entrees, and game day-style appetizers handcrafted with care that'll appeal to entire community as well as families in the neighborhood as well as the bar patrons. The hope is to continue to provide inclusive social meeting space for the neighborhood. There'll be a mix of bar and table seating. There's approximately 30 seats at the bar, 66 seats on both sides of the bar. The operating hours will stay the same as the Kelleher's, which is 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. Andrew and Connor are each managers of the LLC and plan to run the restaurant together. Both have years of experience in the restaurant industry and are well-versed in the sale of alcohol beverage, familiar with your codes and policies. They're familiar with the food service industry. They've worked in the Boston area. They worked at West on Center, a mile so down the street. Andrew is also the proposed manager of record and is himself a resident of Rosendale. Andrew has worked in restaurants for 22 years, most recently as the bar manager at Porter's Cafe, which is also about a mile and a half down the street. In looking at his time there, it's been a very successful business model. There's been no violations. He's been quarried and tip certified. He obtained crowd manager certificate. Connor likewise has been quarried and tip certified. As I said, as the renovations, we're going to upgrade the bathrooms and the facilities and give the place essentially a facelift. It's kind of tired, but we want to continue to keep it as a neighborhood tavern feel. We've had 2 neighborhood meetings, Madam Chair. They were well attended and unwavering support from the neighborhood. They're excited that the place is going to continue. I think there were a lot of nervous people when they heard the license was being sold elsewhere. So timing was great. The fact that these licenses came available has been really fortuitous for us and for Andrew and Connor, and I think the neighborhood. All the butters have been notified, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And Andrew or Connor are here to answer any questions you may have, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, Andrew and Connor, and thank you, Attorney Allen. I'm just looking at a map here. I know in the same block, there's Harry's breakfast, All-American breakfast. And you'd say that this concept is distinguishable from that because it's going to be more of an American pub.
Yeah, we're going to continue to keep it as the pub. Harry's is Harry's. I believe this board just recently, maybe the last meeting, approved a license there. They are known for their breakfast, and they've kind of expanded to lunch, and maybe they'll have some early dinner. We kind of take it from there. We're more of the lunch and the dinner and later crowd. But Harry's is more of sort of that sit down smaller restaurant. We're more of a neighborhood gathering space, I would say.
Okay, great. No questions to the manager of record. I have no questions about the application. Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
None. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. ONS had hosted a butters meeting on November 14th. There were a couple of residents who expressed concerns regarding parking, with one asking questions about where deliveries would be picked up. There was also a couple of residents on as well that were very supportive of this proposal and expressed how they wanted to see the business thrive. The applicant went on to connect with the Longfellow Area Neighborhood Association, which I understand was not opposed to this proposal. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes.
Great. If you could please identify yourself for the board, and then you will have up to 2 minutes to provide your testimony.
Hi, my name is Paul Langley. I live at 2 Hazelmere Road. Our property is the property that's closest to Kelleher's. We actually abut their driveway that's between our property and theirs. I attended the meeting with Andrew and Connor. I believe it was the last week of January. They seem like they're really experienced, professional, responsible. They said they would provide a contact person for us to talk to if any issues arise. And they answered all the questions I had at that meeting. So I fully support their proposal. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any other individuals with us this morning who would like to testify on this matter?
Hi, I'd like to testify. My name is Ann Gormley, and I'm actually in the building, the condo building that's right next to Kelleher's, or to that whole strip. And sorry, I was traveling in January, so I wasn't able to attend the meeting. Don't panic. I would like Kelleher's to continue, or an even better version of Kelleher's. So I'm not disagreeing, but totally want to second the whole comments about parking, because we have issues getting out of our driveway with people parked right up to the end of the driveway. And I would also encourage anybody to look at that sidewalk. That's that whole block from Harry's up to our condo building. We're trying to get our sidewalk fixed, and the rest of the sidewalk it's ridiculous. So anyways, so welcome, Connor and Andrew. Sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you in January. But yeah, just actually maybe having you guys here and sprucing up the place a little will help us get better sidewalks and better parking. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for that testimony. Are there any other individuals with us who would like to testify on this matter? Great. Anything further from the board on this item? We'll take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Calling item number 15, Los Arrieros Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Los Arrieros Restaurant, located at 13 Meridian Street in East Boston, has applied for a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 1,020 square foot restaurant on first floor of building with 1 entrance and 2 exits, to include a dining area with seating for approximately 39, kitchen and 2 restrooms, basement for storage only. Manager Felix Ospina, closing time 2 a.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green, Attorney Tyler Hensler from Upton, Canal, and Devlin, here on behalf of Los Arrieros Restaurant, Inc. Joining me from Los Arrieros is Antonio, Gloria, and Nestor. Nestor will help translate as needed. We're here this morning seeking support for a new all-alcoholic beverage license for Los Arrieros Restaurant located at 13 Meridian Street in East Boston. Los Arrieros has been in business for almost 33 years. During that time, they've been serving the East Boston community traditional Colombian food and have fostered an authentic Colombian atmosphere. They've held a liquor license for beer and wine during this time. We've applied here for a new all-alcohol license, an upgrade from that beer and wine. And the public need for an all-alcohol license at this location is strong. First and foremost, Los Arrieros has longevity in this neighborhood to the point where they are part of the very fabric of the neighborhood. They've been operating for 33 years, and they are a staple in the Colombian community of East Boston. Their plan for long-term operation at this location, if granted this all-alcohol license, is simple. Right now, Antonio Felix Ospina runs the business, and one day he will pass it on to his family. This is a true family business, and they plan to be here for the next 33 years to continue to serve the East Boston community for the long term. They've been contributing to local charities for all these years, and they will continue the tradition of charity in the future as well. Granting Los Arrieros an all-alcohol license would also foster the stability that comes not only to this business, but the whole neighborhood when the city shows support to a long-standing, hard-working, community-based business. Los Arrieros is located, as their menu states, in the heart of East Boston, right where Meridian Street, Chelsea Street, and Maverick Street converge. This is a transit-oriented area in close proximity to the transit hub of Maverick T Station, which has a blue line stop, as well as a hub for several bus lines. They have significant foot traffic here due to the T station, as well as courthouses, banks, Lombardi Park, cafes, markets, and small shops and boutiques up and down Meridian Street. The surrounding area has also been a priority of development by the city of Boston for the past 10 years or so. As new people move in, it should be a priority of this board to ensure that an old neighborhood staple will be supported and remain here. Granting the all-alcohol license would also enhance the vibrancy of the neighborhood, as it would attract pedestrians from the surrounding transit hub as well as the other local businesses. The local community certainly believes that the public need for an all-alcohol license here is met. We've here a petition with 169 signatures or so that we have provided to the board this morning, most, if not all, local addresses. The support of the community is also seen by the meetings we had with the neighborhood groups and the Office of Neighborhood Services. There are a few other places with an all-alcohol license within a few hundred feet of this restaurant rather. By my count, there are 3 others. In terms of saturation, however, for as densely a populated area as this part of East Boston is, that's not that many. Certainly not as much as South Boston or the South End. And it seems to me that the goal of this piece of legislation is to build these historically underserved communities up. And granting a liquor license, an all-alcohol license to Los Arrieros would go a long way to accomplishing this, because it would allow them to stay around for the long term, and it would show other businesses that years and decades of hard work is rewarded. However, of those 3 other all-alcohol licenses in the area, 2, I believe, do not have food, and the other has a menu with American tavern food, burgers, and such. None boast the authentic Colombian menu that Los Arrieros does. It would therefore be unique in that it would be the only authentic Colombian restaurant with an all-alcohol license in the immediate area. Los Arrieros, their track record over the past 33 years is fairly clean. They have been in front of this board a few times for a few mistakes that they've made over the years. The 75-year-old owner is on site every day, working with the community and the police for safe and compliant service. And every incident that ended up bringing them in front of this board on a Tuesday morning, they've taken the advice from this board and made the operation safer for the community and made themselves more responsible operators. There has been a strong case for public need at this location for 33 years due to the reasons I just mentioned. And finally, the city has licenses to meet that need. Expanding this location to all alcohol would be a major impact on the revenue and success of the restaurant, but only a minor impact on the neighborhood in which they have been serving alcohol for 33 years. The character and fitness of Los Arrieros is also strong. They are responsible operators for the past 33 years who actually applied for and were approved for an all alcohol license in the fall of 2023. This shows that the board found that the applicant had established both public need and character and fitness at that time. At that time, the city did not have any licenses to give. This time, Los Arrieros, who again currently holds an unrestricted beer and wine license, would be happy with a restricted neighborhood all alcohol license. Therefore, if granted the restricted all alcohol license, they would turn in their full value beer and wine license to the board. The city would therefore gain an unrestricted beer and wine license to grant to the next best applicant anywhere in the city. This shows how committed Los Arrieros is to the business and enhancing the restaurant with this all alcohol license. I'll add that the manager of record will remain the same as it has been for years, Mr. Felix Antonio Ospina, and nothing else about the operation would change if this license was granted. When the state legislature created these new licenses, they did so to combat the pay-to-play phenomenon that we all saw taking place as businesses in wealthy commercial centers such as Back Bay and the Seaport strip mined the liquor licenses from neighborhoods in the poorer communities of Boston. To grant Los Arrieros one of the neighborhood restricted all alcohol licenses would reward this family business after working 33 years to earn it, and would demonstrate exactly the type of progress in underserved communities of Boston that the state legislature and this board envisioned. We thank you for your time this morning, and we're happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Attorney. I actually don't have any questions. I believe you covered the manager of record. You answered my question about what you plan to do with the current beer and wine, and you described how this will add to the offerings at this location. So I have no questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office has deferred to the judgment of this board. ONS was able to have an abutters meeting in early February. Understand that there's just one concern regarding the hours of operation, but the applicant pointed out that those hours are in line with other businesses in the area as well. They understand they also connected with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association. We're unaware of any further concerns at this time. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And calling item number 16, Sorrel and Lime LLC, located at 986 Blue Hill Ave in Dorchester, has applied for a general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 2,734 square feet on a single floor with 2 entrances and 2 exits, to include an open space concept with tables and chairs, to allow seating for approximately 165, bar with seating for 12, 2 restrooms in the rear and storage in the basement. Manager Marlon Benjamin, closing time 2 a.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Marlon Benjamin, manager on record. I'm here present with my 2 partners and co-owners, Kurt McLaughlin and Clayton Weston.
Great. Thank you all so much for being with us this morning. If you could please briefly present the proposed concept to the board.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, board. Sorrel and Lime is a Caribbean-inspired modern event space located at 986 Blue Hill Ave. It's formerly was the Island Pride Function Hall, who has not been in operation, I think, for about 9 years now. We revitalized the space to make it more modern in the corridor, with a lot of feedback from the community that wanted a space that they can go to that was kind of in line with what is available today. And it's the first of its kind in the community with the amenities that we did, thanks in part to Mayor Wu's space grant. We upgraded every single thing in the entire space, new bathrooms. We redid the floors, new ventilation system, updated sprinkler system, etc. Um, we have taken on this as three lifelong Boston residents that understand the corridor and the need for a space that we have provided. We have, over 2 decades of experience in this area of not only alcohol management, as Clayton Weston has 24 years experience in that, but also event curation, as Kurt McLaughlin is an event curator and has been for over a decade. So we do believe that this is something the community needed. We had overwhelming positive responses in the abutters meeting, and we just received a letter of recommendation from the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council after our civic meeting. So we're just, ready to go. And we did open our doors in the beginning of February. So we are looking forward to this license process, and hopefully, this is what we are able to provide to our community, and we're open for any questions.
Thank you very much. So, I'm sorry, I was taking notes on my spreadsheet. Did we cover the manager of record questions?
I'm the manager of record.
You are, okay.
Yes, correct. Mhm.
And you said you've been here at this location for how long?
We've been at this location. We secured the location in August of 2024. We just completed the renovation project at the end of January, and we opened February 9th, I believe, was our first day. Mhm.
Okay, and just to confirm, you don't prepare food on site?
There is no on-site food preparation. All food that brought in will be catered.
Thank you. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes. Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office like to defer to the judge from this board. ONS had hosted an abutters meeting that was well attended. There's about 13 residents in attendance who had questions regarding what the parking situation would be like, security, questions about soundproofing. There were requests made for the applicant to be really good about making sure that food is disposed of properly, because there is an existing rodent problem in the area, as well as ensuring that driveways are not blocked. There was also someone on the call who also vocalized their support for the proposal. We did receive one letter in opposition. The applicant went on to meet with the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council, which voted to support the proposal, but also expressing that they'd like to see us operate as a function hall and not a nightclub. The Neighborhood Council mentioned that the applicant had worked closely with B3, the local BPD police precinct, who was able to tour the premises and just kind of confirm what the security plan is. With that information, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Any further questions from the board? Board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you very much. Those are all the items before the board this morning. The board will vote tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Notice has been posted to the city's website. That will adjourn this hearing. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.